Good morning, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and today I bring you guys my OP12 Buggy deck profile for y'all today. I was planning on making an OP11 deck profile with the starter decks, however, I never got a chance to do it. I did a whole deck opening for this leader, but then time kind of passed me by, and then look at the time, we're already in OP12, he got more support, so let's just get straight into this. So first things first, you don't know, Buggy is a 5-life cross guild 4 emperors leader, and he has the ability non-once per turn. You may rest 5 Dawn, trash a card from hand, then play a 5 cost or higher cross guild type character from your hand. Well, it doesn't say 5 costs or higher. It's any cross guild type character. However, I don't see why you would ever use his ability if you're not playing a 5 cost or higher character. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Like, why would you waste 5 Dawn to play out a 4 cost character? Exactly. So, we're playing 5 cost or higher characters, and it is a pretty powerful ability. The fact that it's not once per turn means that 10 Dawn, you can cheat out 2 10 drops, which is kind of crazy. So, let's get straight into this. First things first, we're playing 4 copies of our 10 drop. This is Buggy the Clown. Buggy is a great card. It's basically our version of Red Rock for the archetype. It has the ability that on play, it bomb decks any of your opponent's monsters. However, if you do not control a field full of 5 costs or higher characters, he will bomb deck himself. So your field has to have every character on it be 5 costs or higher, or he will bomb deck himself. And that doesn't mean you just have one 5 cost character. There's 5 zones, so you need at least 4 of them to have 5 costs or higher characters. I mean, you need him to be in the 5th zone. So he is very situational when it comes to that. But overall, he's still a really great boss monster. And he only gets better once we get the blocker version of him. But for now, he's really, really solid. Next, I'm trying out 2 copies of Monkey D. Luffy. This card came out in OP11. It's a really solid card. It's an 8 cost AK. It has rush. When attacking, you may trash 1 card from your hand, bounce a 4 cost character or less back to the owner's hand, and then give 1 rested Dawn to your leader or character, which is really, really powerful. The fact that you can bounce back your own cards makes this even better. There's some cheeky little combos where you can bounce back a pudding you use, and then on the next turn, re-pudding your opponent, which is really, really solid. So the fact that you can bounce back your own characters makes it really nice. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Crocodile Mihawk, and this card is absolutely amazing. The whole reason why this deck is actually insane. Basically, on play, you draw 2, trash 1. Then you get to play a cross-skill type character with 4 or less from hand. And then once a turn, if a cross-skill type character would be removed from field by the opponent's effect, you may trash 1 card from your hand instead. So it basically protects all your cross-skill type characters from removal of any kind. So blue removal, black removal, any removal in the game besides KO by battle. This guy protects you, which is pretty amazing. This is some of the best protections in the game. And the leader, fact that he does have that on turn 5, cheat this guy out, draw 2, trash 1, cheat out another character, and just have that protection feels insane. Next, we're playing 4 copies of this Buggy. This is the promo Buggy from the original OP09 / OP10. This Buggy is absolutely amazing. Basically, this character can't attack, which is his one downside. He's a 7 cost AK. However, if your leader is Buggy, all 4 cost or 3 cost characters cannot attack. You and your opponents, they're just restricted in that regard. Also, on play, you can play 1 cross-skill type character with 6 or less from your hand, which is really, really powerful. The reason why I'm still playing 4 of him, even though sometimes the meta does not favor him, it's just because of how powerful that restriction, like, the fact that this deck gatekeeps some of the best decks in the format out of here is incredible. Like, there's a lot of 4 cost character decks that cannot play because of Buggy. For example, Blue Doflamingo, Arlong, and a whole bunch of other leaders that are just basically locked out. Silver's Rayleigh, the new leader that's coming out of OP12. A lot of leaders require low body characters, and this leader literally says, this character literally says, hey, they can't attack. And guess what? You try to remove me, let's say you're a black deck, doesn't matter. You have protection, which feels absolutely phenomenal. Now, I will say the fact that he can't attack does suck. However, he's a 7 cost 8k, so even removing him with card effects is already going to be tough. So he's a really great card. If he wasn't a floodgate, we wouldn't be playing him at this many copies, but because he's a floodgate and he hits so many decks, he's a must-have 4 of. Next, we're playing 4 copies of the OG Crocodile. This card's amazing. It has 1,000 counter. On play, you play a cross-skill type character with 5 or less from hand. Really great card. Still a fantastic card in the deck. Overall, just amazing. Next, let's talk about our 6 cost or less characters. We're playing 4 copies of Draco Mihawk. This is our main blocker in the deck. On play, draw 2, trash 1, and it's just a 6k 7 blocker. You can play it off your 7 costs. A lovely, lovely shoe buggy, which is just really incredible. Now let's talk about the cards we gained in OP12. We gained some vanillas, but those vanillas are 2Ks. So this deck has access to even more powerful 2Ks, which feels incredible. No longer do we have to play the Mr. Daz Bones package. We can just play more 2Ks in the deck. So I'm going for 2 copies of the 6 cost 2K buggy. I might bump this up to 4. I don't know. I'm still testing. I like the idea that you could play it off this. However, he's too high to play off the 8 cost or the 7 cost. I think 2 is just like the perfect ratio. We're also playing 2 copies, Moji and Kabaji. And just another 2K we gained from the set. And we're also still playing the original Kabaji just because it's just a good card in general. If you control a Buggy or if you control a Moji, this character can be KO'd by battle. And with this, they can't be KO'd by card effects either. So that is just a really solid combination. We're also playing 4 copies of Alvida. This is probably the best 4 costs of the deck. The fact that this card literally says, hey, if you have 2 more characters with 5 costs or higher, it gains a plus cost, so it becomes a 5 cost. Also, on play, if your leader is Buggy, draw 3, trash 2. It's just a really powerful ability. On your 5 Dawn turn, you can use your leader ability, swing for 5. Play out 8 cost Crocodile Mihawk, draw 2, trash 1. Then play out Alvida, draw 3, trash 2. And just completely draw throughout your deck, which feels absolutely amazing. We're also playing 2 copies of Charlotte Pudding because Charlotte Pudding is just a great card. It's just a blue staple. Until this card gets hit, we're at least playing 2 copies in our deck. We filter so much that we don't really need a way to search it. It's just easy access in our deck. Next, we're playing 4 copies of Moji. Moji is a great blocker. It's also a 2K, which is amazing. Basically, not only on KO, if your leader is Buggy and you have 3 or less in hand, it draws you 1. But also, it becomes a 5 cost on field. So you can play it off your 8 cost as a blocker. And then because you control 2 or more 5 cost characters, it becomes a 5K character, which feels really good. We're also playing 4 copies of the new Kabaji, which is just a great card in general. It's another 2K for 1,000 power. However, if your leader is luckily Buggy, this character gains 5,000 power. So this is actually a 5/6 blocker, which feels really, really good in the deck, especially since it's a 2K as well. Finally, we're playing 4 copies. Mr. 3 Galdino. This is the searcher of the deck. On play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Reveal a cross-skill type character, add it to your hand, then place the rest of the bottom in any order. And we're also playing 4 copies of our Sanji's Peel-Off, which is just a draw 2, activate main, or trigger, activate main. The trigger really sells this card. The fact that you can hit this off life and just draw 2 for free feels really, really solid. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this list. I will say I don't like how much non-counter I have. Like, don't get me wrong, we're playing 14 2Ks, which feels really good. However, I will say we are playing a lot of non-counter. I believe, as I count correctly, there's 18 non-counter. There's 4, that's 10, 14, 18. And there's 18 non-counter. However, we draw so much, and, actually, technically, 22 non-counter, because this isn't counter either. However, it's just a draw spell, so I don't know if you consider that in the ratio mapping, but there is a lot of non-counter in this deck. However, there's also a shit ton of 2Ks, more than most decks actually play. Not to mention we're drawing a bunch, so it kind of counters it out. I can see you having some really high-end rolls and low-end rolls with this deck, where sometimes you're just drawing nothing but 2Ks and you're feeling great, and other times you're drawing nothing but non-counter and it's the worst shit in the world. It really depends. I might want to cut down on some of the non-counter cards, but every card that does not have counter is absolutely amazing. The Crocodile Mihawk. I'm trying out the Luffy, but I really like the Luffy in the deck. The 10-drop Red Rock that is basically our Buggy boss monster. The Shoe Buggy, it feels great. The Mihawk feels great. I don't know. It just feels like there needs to be maybe a 0-cost event in the deck, but I don't know what I would cut out for it. I don't know. I really enjoy this list. I'm having a great time with it, but I do think there might be some situations you might get into where you're drawing like 6 or 7 cards and you're just not seeing the counter that you need. However, once again, that separates the good Buggy players and the bad Buggy players, because you're going to know what you want to discard off the Mihawk effects, what you want to discard off the lovely, lovely Dracula Mihawk effects, and what you want to discard off the lovely Alvida effects. Do keep that in mind. You want to discard a non-counter, keep the counter, just go from there. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy. Don't think stupid. I considered playing Red Rock and, of course, Gravity Blade, but we already have it in Archetype Red Rock, and Gravity Blade is hit or miss this format, and honestly, I just feel like it's not necessary. But that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoy. Don't do anything stupid. See you on the next one, and bye-bye.